We arrive into the world with nothing. But every world teems with opportunities. A choice of paths that we could take. Explore.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. And today we're going to be having a conversation about Boundless, another conversation with somebody who's been playing the game for quite some time. Give us a little bit of insight to what Boundless is and what sets apart from Minecraft and why it reminds him of No Man's Sky so much. And the exploration, just these things that we, some of us who have been PS4, just don't know about Boundless. And so it's Dan Before Time. We're going to have a sit-down talk with him about that. The game comes out September 11th, and if you pre-order it, you can actually have the ability to play it on this Friday, so you don't have to wait until the 11th to purchase it. And I have played Boundless, and I can say, guys, it is worth it. I've been playing Boundless off and on. I'm not a pro. I'm a noob as heck because I don't play it consistently, and it's being updated quite a bit. But from what I've seen, it is an amazing game and has just a surreal feeling about it when you're inside the game. And it's a very community-driven game as well. So let's go ahead and sit down and talk to Dan Before Time. Thank you guys for coming back to Cobra TV. While No Man's Sky trucks along with its updates, and looks like we're going to be weekly updates here now, as we got the first community event and you know, the hunting of the what do they call it? Hex cores. I see a lot of memes of that going around. But we got a game that was sleeping on us, guys. Boundless. I tried telling you guys about it a while back. Just couldn't drive any traction about it. But it's getting ready to come out. Me and Semtex pre-ordered it, so we'll be able to play it on Friday. And I'm so excited to be able to play. It looks like a lot of it has changed. And here today to tell us about what has changed and you know, what exactly is Boundless is Dan Before Time. Dan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show, man.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on, buddy. It's a pleasure. Dan, if you guys don't know who Dan Before Time is, he was covering No Man's Sky back in the heyday. And he has since switched over to Boundless and has been uploading Boundless for this entire time, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing Boundless coverage for about a year and a half. I think I started in January 2017. Okay. And I've been doing it pretty much nonstop since.
Very awesome, very awesome. And also on the call, we've got Semtex UK. Everybody knows who Semtex UK is. How you doing, Sem?
I'm really good. I'm really excited for Friday. I cannot wait.
I know, me too.
This game is so, yeah. I've been watching loads of videos. I've been watching loads of Dan's videos, actually. Definitely go and check Dan Before Time's channel out, people. 100%. He's got some incredible Boundless footage, and yeah, it's got me even more excited about that, to be honest.
100%. I used to play it on PC, and I loved it back then. And it's gotten a lot of updates, as I seen, you know, with the new trailer, and it's getting ready to be in our households on PS4, guys. And I think, you know, back then I said it. I was very vocal about how I felt like when this comes to PS4, it's really what this game needs is, and there hasn't been any advertisement a whole lot. There's been a couple PS4 trailers and things like that, but I don't see it popping up on my feed until just right now, right at the release of it on PS4. And like, there's no advertisements, there's no interviews that I see anywhere around that are just lying out on the surface, so a lot of people don't know it. And here today to tell us it's not a Minecraft clone, which you know, that was being thrown at me quite a bit when I was playing it or talking about it as Dan Before Time. Dan, so you laughed there. Have you been, you know, have people come by and say that, oh, this is a Minecraft clone? Have you gotten some of that?
Yes, of course. I think we were talking briefly before the show. I think it's hard to avoid that when you're any voxel game that comes out after Minecraft, because Minecraft is such a huge force in the gaming world. It's even like beyond gaming, just pop culture. Minecraft is so known. So I think anytime that you have a game that has blocks in it that you can break in place, you're going to get a little bit of that. I will say overall, the comments and the comments that I get from people passing through randomly are generally pretty positive, and they end up excited about the game.
Yeah.
I'd really like to ask them, Dan, what do you feel about this game really sets it apart from Minecraft? What are the things that stand out about it that you feel either improve on the Minecraft kind of experience or that really set it apart to make it a different game?
Okay, so I have a little bit of an interesting perspective on this because I actually never played Minecraft until after I played Boundless.
Oh, wow.
So Boundless was my introduction to the voxel building experience. Because I loved it so much, I went back and played Minecraft.
So people are sitting there like, looks like Minecraft clone. And you're like, what? Well, hey, I love Boundless, so I may as well give Minecraft a try.
Obviously, I had seen a lot of Minecraft because I have little cousins, and just Minecraft permeated everything for a long time. So I'd watched it, but I just never actually played it and been in that world. So there's definitely similarities to Minecraft, and if you talk to the developers of Boundless, which I have, they don't shy away from the fact that they were heavily inspired by their love for playing Minecraft. They just wanted to take everything that made Minecraft awesome, the building, the crafting, the freedom, the exploration, the survival, and kind of take that and push it into, I would say, an almost a little bit more of an adult, even though it's a colorful, cartoony looking game, more of an adult experience where you make it a massively multiplayer online universe that you can play and have these adventures with tons of other people in a universe that continues to expand with the player base.
A quick question on that, then.
Sure.
What are the limits when it comes to the kind of numbers of people in, say, one lobby at one time?
So there is no lobbies. It's the way that Boundless is set up is every planet. Let's take US East because that's the server that I'm on. Every planet is a server. Okay. So you have a universe that's built of servers. So, for instance, the US East server setup would be one planet, a main planet, and that is a kind of like an easy planet. And then they have a US East planet that's one tier higher than that in difficulty. Right now, for each region of the world, they have 2 planets for the launch universe. And then as more and more players populate that, more and more planets will become available, and they continue to get higher tiered as you go up.
So what's the number of people that could be in a server?
Well, as far as I know, there's really no limit, no set limit to how many players can populate a world at the same time.
Holy crap. Yeah, because me and Syntax kind of like 30 people on the screen at one point in time.
Yes, there's been massive like community-driven hunts where you go out and like they do like PvE hunts, and you go out as basically the whole community. And yeah, I've seen, I don't know what the actual numbers are, but 30, 40 people playing at one time together easily. That's
absolutely awesome. Let's take a step back and kind of describe what Boundless is to people. Not with the Minecraft talk in there, just like kind of like as if you're selling the game to people who have never heard it.
Okay, so for me, Boundless is essentially an adventure game where you have complete freedom over how you want to approach it. So the reason that I was drawn to it is because of my interest in No Man's Sky initially. And I saw this game and I said, wow, there's definitely some similarities to, traveling through space and exploring new worlds and just never knowing what you're going to see around the next corner. I love that part of it. Like, I love the exploration of No Man's Sky above all else. And then I started slowly learning that it's a building game that has some very unique building features that set it apart from Minecraft as well. But if you enjoy exploration, and I would call it light survival, if you enjoy that kind of game where you just basically create your own adventure, this is going to be a game that you're probably going to want to give a second look at, because it's incredible. It really is. I have a lot of hours in it, and I've never gotten tired of it yet.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to ask, when it comes to the kind of the amount of biomes, I mean, looking through some of the trailers, I've seen some really, really unique and interesting, and really, like, the biomes seem really striking, really different from each other. They don't seem to be that repetitive. Would you say that's been your experience so far?
Absolutely. In early access and now in the launch universe, like the planet that I got for the launch universe, which is the version of the game that you guys will be playing on Friday, the planet that I got as my starting planet is like absolutely nothing like I've seen playing the game in the last year and a half. And that surprised me because I'd seen so much of the game already, and it's just like, it almost seems like they said, here, you haven't seen anything yet.
Wow. And you know what's really cool about the biomes is that you could go onto another planet and there might be some type of resource that's only found there, and you can mine that resource, take it back to your planet where it's not native at all, and use it in your building.
That's, a big draw of the gameplay loop actually is the reason to go exploring is to get those rare and exotic resources that aren't seen on your home planet and show them off. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I suppose that really brings kind of the community aspect in a lot then, because, you know, if you're working together and you're all exploring different biomes, you're all finding truly unique stuff that, you know, everyone can benefit from. You all become kind of key keepers to gates to new and interesting things for people to experience.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. And the community thus far has been so phenomenal and generous in sharing information, sharing resources. Just it's almost like, look at what I found, this is so cool, now you should enjoy it. It's been a really cool experience in that way.
That's awesome. And what are the caps like? You could, from what I've seen, you could build just about anything and anywhere. What are the limits on that? Can you build like massive cities together as a group?
Yes, there is a height limit in the game.
Okay.
What that is exactly, how many blocks that is, I'm not going to be able to tell you, but it's significant. So as far as the beacon system, which we can get into now or later if you want, that determines what land is set aside for you, and that is a system that is in place. So it's really, really very difficult to grief other players, because obviously a big concern with multiplayer Minecraft servers is that if you're not on that server, anybody can come by your house and tear it down. In Boundless, you have this beacon system that sets aside a plot of land for you, and you can continue adding plots onto that beacon in every direction, up, down, left to right, back, forth. And you're limited only by the number of plots that you gain through playing the game. So, like Semtex was asking me before we started the podcast, if we built a city. I built a city with a group of probably 10 to 14 people in early access, and it was a massive sprawling city. So, and we could have continued farther on than that. So there really is no building limit per se, as long as you have the plots to mark it out.
Very awesome.
How would you go about obtaining a new beacon, just out of interest?
So the beacon is one of the first things that the game will teach you how to craft through the tutorial section. So it's a very simple recipe to craft the actual beacon. You really only need one of those, and then you earn plots to add to that beacon as you move forward in the progression of the game.
Okay. And is it quite hard to earn plots, or is that quite, a simple mechanic and a simple loop?
It's a very, very simple loop, yeah. It's just basic experience that you gain from doing everything that you would normally do while you're playing the game. Gives you experience that you can then use you're rewarded with a currency, an in-game currency called qubits. And then when you level up and you earn qubits, you can then spend those qubits on additional plots.
Now, you can also mine stuff that's very valuable and create your own store, right?
Absolutely. And that's another thing that sets this apart from Minecraft, is that it has a completely player-driven economy. There's no pricing set by the game whatsoever.
Okay.
So the entire economy is based on supply and demand, and basically they're giving it to the players and letting the players run it.
I see. So when
you could develop a trading system as opposed to a financial system then, if you were sort of prone to do that.
You absolutely can. Trading is in place in the game currently as it is. There is also, when you level, you earn a currency called coin, and that's more of a traditional monetary currency. That is what the economy is tied to. So you can open a shop, say you wanted to sell diamond hammers, and that was your specialty. You could open a shop and sell only diamond hammers and set your own price based on if you wanted to undercut somebody else in a different market that's selling diamond hammers, or if you wanted to be the guy that makes enchanted diamond hammers that are so far above what anybody else is producing and charge whatever you wanted for them. You could play it any way that you want to.
Oh, wow.
Super awesome. So the game used to be called Ort Online.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed the name to Boundless. What's the lore to the game? Like, why are we there?
It remains a mystery still.
Really?
Yeah. So we don't know exactly why we're there. Apparently, there will be clues in the game as we progress forward, but as of right now, we don't really know. All we know is that we are descendants of a highly technologically advanced race in the past, but that's really, as far as I'm aware, all that's actually completely known.
Okay. The last time I played, they didn't have a whole lot of character customization. Have they improved on that?
They have. That's a pretty recent addition, actually. Just right before they released the launch universe, you now have an actual character creator when you start the game. There's like, this is a rough number, there's like 256 different color combinations, the same for eye color. They have a handful, maybe 12 to 14 different head styles. You can be male or female. And they're going to be adding a bunch of different faces that's not in the game yet, but it's quite, as far as cosmetically, it's far and above what it used to be when I started playing, where you could basically just choose male or female and they had maybe like 4 or 5 different heads.
When I first started playing the game, I was a orange square or orange rectangle.
Yes, so that's really early. So you were definitely a really early. Was that still when it was browser based that you played?
I can't remember. I absolutely can't remember. I used to play it live on Twitch to my either before or after us doing a No Man's Sky show.
Wow. Yeah, because when Ort Online was first conceptualized, it was supposed to be a browser-based game.
Yeah, I don't think it was though.
It's come a long way for sure.
Yeah. Back then, I've not paid attention to it too much, but there was a rumor that there were going to be flying vehicles in the game.
Flying vehicles for like your own personal use?
Yeah.
That I don't have any confirmation on that.
Okay.
There are like giant in-game, almost like raid bosses that are called Titans, and those are big flying mysterious structures that have been teased, but those will be coming in an update post-launch. All
right. Now, are there raids? I'm like, okay, so what we saw was a whole bunch of people on one screen on the launch trailer that had, they were all shooting like these this circular-looking things with tentacles and stuff like that. What was the whole purpose? Why were they all there shooting these aliens? Like, is that a raid, or is that some sort of thing we get together and do in the game?
That is, right now, as the game in its current form, that is one of the highest level PvE activities. It's called a meteor. So an actual meteor there's audio cues and everything for this, but a meteor will fall from the sky and it will spawn a bunch of high-level, high-value mobs.
Okay.
And you need, especially at the high level, there are lower-level meteors that fall on the lower-level worlds, but on the high-level worlds, the footage that you saw is a high-level meteor, and a bunch of the community members got together to tackle that meteor and clear it, essentially.
Wow.
What do you get from doing those events, just out of interest?
everything in Boundless, and I mean everything, is material and drop based. So you're doing it for resources, and one of the big resources, not all of the resources, but one of the big resources that you would do that for is for something called Ort Stones, which is the material that you use to power the portals that you may have seen in the trailer as well.
So one of the things I find myself telling people, and I haven't heard anybody say this, but when I'm trying to tell people about Boundless, and I've even said this to Semtex, like, there's something strange about the game that you don't get when you just view a video on YouTube. Like,
100%.
It feels different when you're playing it versus watching it. And so you just said 100%, so you agree with that?
100%.
What is it?
It's so, and I heard your last podcast when you guys talked about this, and I was nodding my head along to the podcast. Yeah. Because it's so hard to put it into words what it is, but there is a feeling when you play this game that is almost unlike any. The only other game that I've ever played that's come close to it is No Man's Sky.
Right.
And it's a slightly different feeling of awe to both games, but there's a similarity there where you have to be inside the world to understand, like,
exactly.
It just feels so, like, you just feel so free inside that space, and it's almost all encompassing. I've never lost time, the concept of time, to a game as much as I have when I'm playing Boundless.
Me too. Like, I remember I was back in the day, I was digging like this tunnel into a side of a mountain, and I was like, oh, this is where I'm going to build my place. And I remember just chipping away, making stairs, and creating rooms and things like that. And I probably had to have wasted like 6 hours just doing that. And it was daytime when I first started playing, and I look up over the monitor, and there's a window there, and it's nighttime, and I'm like, holy crap. It really keeps you there, dude. It really does.
I've done that so many times, and I don't know if that is just the way that the world feels when you're in there, or how well the systems work together in unison when you're in the game and completing, like, it's almost like micro objectives the way they have it set up. You're always, you feel like you're always progressing towards something, no matter what it is, and you don't have any real direction.
Yeah.
So you never feel like you're not getting something done that you're supposed to be doing. You kind of like, I'm a guy that's easily distracted when I see something pretty. So for me, this game is like, ooh, look at this, and then I can go and do that and focus on that for 20 minutes without making me feel like I'm failing at whatever I was working on before.
Wow. Yeah. See, Semtex, I told you there was something different about playing it versus watching it.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you agree with me, Dan. I really am.
Yeah, I really can't wait. It looks like a completely player-driven universe. You really seem to take the reins of this and make of it what you want, and I think that is some of the best games that come from those kinds of mechanics.
Yeah, you said it really well. It's a very, like, the game, it has a very light touch on the player. Like, it gives you this incredibly well-crafted universe and systems to explore, and it lets you do whatever you want with them.
So it looks like a lot has changed since I last played. Like, tons. I was watching one of your videos, and you had this extensive menu of a whole bunch of stuff to craft. And so is it relatively easy to get in there and learn these new building and crafting mechanics, or is there a slight learning curve?
So the game does a really good job of making it very accessible to a new player.
All right.
That being said,
that's good for me.
It also does a very good job of keeping itself complicated enough to keep veteran players deeply involved.
I see.
So it has a learning curve depending on how deep you want to go with it, but the game also now does a very good job of guiding you through understanding the systems, which I will say, admittedly, it wasn't even trying to do that when I started playing the game. So when I started, I basically had to learn everything from the forums, but now it does a very good job of introducing you to the system.
I see. So there's always something that kind of guides you to what you need to do next somewhere.
There's always a tooltip available for you should you want it. Yeah, and you can now actually pin objectives to your board. I think you can pin like 3 objectives at a time, and it will walk you through every step that you need to complete those.
Okay. All right.
Looks really fun. It really does look fun.
Just talking about it, I'm getting so excited for you guys to play it, and more people to play it, just to see what the reaction to this game is, that I feel like we've kind of, this small group of people have kind of had to ourselves for a while.
Yeah, and definitely, guys, if you're interested in learning more about Boundless before it actually gets released here on PS4, I highly advise you to go to Dan Before Time's YouTube channel, which I'm going to link down below. Check him out. But also keep in mind, and I say this to people, I explain this to them, and I just got done talking about it. Just keep in mind, when you're watching his videos, there's something different about being there than just seeing it. So just keep that in the back of your mind. It looks better, it feels better. There's some weird like immersion kind of feeling that you get when you're in it. The sounds, the birds, and you know the ambience about the game just absolutely just pulls you in. So, but check out Dan Before Time, and you got a lot of tutorial videos, right?
I have a lot of tutorial style videos from early access, yeah, which I have a big playlist on. For this pre-release of 1.0, I've been mostly doing a let's play of the entire first part of the game, so people can kind of see what it takes to get going within the universe.
So pretty much just a fresh start. So if people wonder what to expect,
completely from the beginning, yeah. And with a game like this, I mean, if you're really into no spoilers, maybe not watch it. But with a game like this, it's so freeform that just watching someone start the game is not really it's not really a spoiler, unless you just don't want to see any of the planets.
Okay. And now, back then when I was playing it, you could pretty much just jump into different planets as you wanted, willy-nilly. Is that still the same way, or do you have to work yourself up to getting to different planets now?
So the way it's set up now, when you start a brand new game with a new character, it will ask you where you're at, and you can pick what server you want to join.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, I picked US East. They give you the list, though, where, like, you can pick US West if you choose to. I just, because I'm US, just for connection's sake, I chose US East. Then once you're on your start, right now it lets you choose the level 1 or level 2 planet. So if you want a little bit more of a challenge as far as enemies, you can pick the level 2 planet. I picked level 1 because, as you'll see in my video, I'm pretty much a goofy noob and I derp around a lot. So I picked the level 1 planet. Once you're on that planet, then you can start working up towards building the things that you need to do to go explore other planets.
Okay, so
which you can do all by yourself. You can, but that you can also use other people's portals to get to a different planet.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so when you build a portal, are you building that portal to a specific planet, or is that portal going to allow you to kind of explore different planets?
Portals go to a specific location on a specific planet. Yeah, so if you want to go to, there's massive portal networks already built up in the game, which is why they gave us 3 weeks ahead of launch to kind of get this working, so people didn't just jump in and say, oh, look, this is just a game exactly like Minecraft, just a little bit prettier. They wanted us to kind of build a little bit of a civilization so people could jump in and see what happens in the game. So there's already these massive portal hubs that you can go to and
so nice.
Instantly travel to other planets.
It's crossplay before with PS4, so so PS4 people can take advantage of some of those portal hubs.
Absolutely.
All right, let me ask you another question about the crossover. And be honest with this. Be honest. Is the PC community like totally welcoming to the addition of PS4 players, or is there some kind of like, oh great, here they come?
As far as I've seen, completely welcoming.
Awesome, very awesome.
Yeah. It's just everybody that's in the community now really is passionate and loves the game, and we just want to share it with people and see what everybody does with it.
Backtracking a little bit to the whole community aspect of it, how easy would it be, say if me and Co would jump in on Friday, how long will it take before we'd be able to actually sort of meet up and start building together somewhere?
So if you planned it out, not long at all. Let me give you an example from my start in the launch universe that you'll be joining as well.
Okay.
So I started on the first day that we were allowed to play the launch universe, as did my friend who was an ex, like I would say, I'll call it a guild for the sake of conversation, even though it wasn't officially a guild. The people that we built the city with in early access, one of them lives in Hong Kong. So we wanted to meet up. I told him that I was going to be starting on US East. He also started on US East. He gave me his coordinates, and I met up with him in my second episode, which is an hour into the time.
Wait. Hold on. This is sounding cool. So you have to, okay, so he gave you coordinates, and you have to physically travel there?
You do. Well, I did. And in early game, you will have to physically travel there on foot on the same planet.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
But it's a cool system because you can input specific coordinates and it will give you a marker on your screen on where that is.
Okay.
So as you get later in the game, you can build these things called warp conduits, which are like mini portals. It's more like a single use portal.
Okay.
And you can build these, and you can basically, like, you have a bunch of warp conduits. You have 3 or 4 warp conduits in your inventory. You're roaming around a planet, and you get a text from your friend that says, "I just saw this. Come meet me here." He'll give you his coordinates. You throw up the warp conduits, break them, and enter that location into there, and then walk through it, and you end up exactly where he is instantly.
Wow.
Super cool.
This
okay.
is really cool, yeah.
So you hear that, Sam? We got a journey to get to each other.
Yeah, we've got a bit of an adventure.
So now, if you wanted to do it completely from scratch and build your own portal system as well and not use anybody else's, you absolutely could do that as well.
Okay. So how do you get the blueprints? Are they already in like your knowledge in your menu, or do you have to seek those blueprints out?
That's a good question. So there's no seeking and finding blueprints in the traditional building RPG sense.
Okay.
Everything is tied to skills now. So you start the game with a basic knowledge of things that you can craft by hand.
Okay.
And then you move on to building a basic crafting table. And then from there you can build on to building basic machines, which give you access to higher level recipes, they call it in Boundless. And then at a certain point, you will have to spend your skill points that you earn leveling up on higher tiered crafting ability, if that's something that you choose to pursue within the game.
Okay.
So you can totally spec out your character to be a crafter or a hunter and not take any of the skills for either if you choose.
So what if I already laid down a beacon and later on I find a different place I want my base? Does that create a second beacon, or does that can you just say, okay, this is my new base, this is my new beacon?
You can have as many beacons as you can keep fueled, essentially.
All right.
So if you want to have your original beacon and keep it, as long as you can do the work that's required to fuel that beacon, then you can keep that and whatever new beacon you craft and create as well.
So if you don't keep your beacon fueled and it runs out, somebody can steal your base?
So if you and this is they went through a couple iterations of this during early access. They're trying to find a way that they can keep the world beautiful if people just fall off from playing completely. So your beacon is no longer permanent. You have to craft and fuel it. The basic beacon fuel that you learn how to create immediately, which is like incredibly easy, lasts for 4 weeks. And then as you move up, you can craft higher tiered beacon fuel, which lasts for, I don't know the exact amount offhand. I think the highest one might be 12 weeks. So, and they do that just to make sure that you don't leave a half-built building in the middle of nowhere and then never come back to it.
I see. That's a really good idea, actually.
So to answer your original question, if you let that beacon fuel expire, I think there's a little bit of a buffer zone after that, so it's not like the second it expires it starts degenerating. But after it loses its fuel and you don't come back to it, the world will start to regenerate to its natural state.
Okay. All right. Semtex, you have anything else you'd like to ask him?
Not really. I would like to say a huge thank you though for coming and giving us loads of hints and tips and kind of really giving us a better feeling for what the game's actually about. It seems a lot deeper than it originally appears, and I think that's something that a lot of people will find out the more that they kind of get into that world and start exploring it, really. So thank you for that.
How do you think the reception is going to be with PS4 players?
I think they've done, if you don't mind me kind of answering that in a roundabout way, I think they've done a really good job of not overhyping this game. And contrary to another certain game that we all are very fond of and have dealt with for a number of years on YouTube, I think they did this in a very smart way in letting early access be driven by word of mouth. And I think the people that will initially find this and be drawn to it on PS4 will be players that like the Minecraft-like experience, and a few of the players that like the No Man's Sky style experience. And as long as that continues to grow as it has in early access by word of mouth, now that it's actually finally going to be released, I think the game will be just fine. I don't think that you're going to see a huge marketing push for this game. I think they're going to let it continue to grow organically and see what happens with it.
How does the PvP fare?
So that's a question that I get asked all the time, and I'm actually glad you brought that up. There is no PvP as it stands right now.
I thought they always talked about PvP.
PvP, they've given roundabout answers that they've said once they introduce their private worlds, which is like rented servers essentially on Minecraft, which are coming at a later date. We have no information on when that will happen. They said when that happens, you'll be able to set your own parameters and rules. But as of right now, that will be the only instance of PvP in the game. They don't, as of right now, big, if, but as of right now, they don't plan on adding any PvP into the shared universe because there's no way to. So
you can't damage another player at all.
You cannot. No.
See, back in the day when I was playing it, they were talking about how you could build and go to war with each other, like build tribes or cities and go to war with each other.
Right now, that's no longer a vision for the game, as far as I'm aware. As far as true PvP where you can damage each other.
Okay. Well,
at least in the public worlds.
I see.
But the cool thing about the private worlds that they've said is those will be able to connect to private worlds should you choose. So you can let people in to travel from the public universe onto your world, and if you want to do PvP there you can have the public come and join you. It just won't flow the other way.
Right. Okay. Well, guys, Dan Before Time. Dan, thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking about this amazing game that I've been waiting for the public to catch on to. Guys, if you check the link down below, go to Dan Before Time's YouTube channel. Check out the game, see if it's something you like. Yes, it does have Minecraft-esque qualities to it, but when you're playing it, it really feels so much different than Minecraft. It actually has more of a No Man's Sky type exploration feeling to it. I don't know. It's its own beast, man. It's its own anomaly in the gaming industry, and I don't know.
I totally agree, 100%. It's not really like anything. I mean, if you want to say it's like Minecraft because it has blocks, then you can say that. But it's just it's its own beast. That's a perfect way to say it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Dan, for coming on the show, buddy.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully I was able to shed some light on some things for you guys about Boundless. I'm so excited to play with you guys.
Yeah, I can't. We got to hook up, dude. Definitely, because we're gonna need somebody to help show us the way around.
Somebody to help show you how to derp around.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait. Yeah, thank you ever so much. It's been really nice to speak to you, Dan.
Likewise, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Also, guys, check out Semtex UK, his YouTube channel. His link is also down below. He's got an amazing channel there. And if you like watching someone play games and getting high on Red Bull, that's actually possible. Semtex shows you that it's possible to get high on Red Bull. Then check him out as well. Awesome content. All right. Bye, everybody.